Okay, so starting out lying on the back, and there's a couple different positions that you can take for comfortability. First of all, you could be flat, just lying on the back with the legs extended like Shavasana. And that's a pretty comfy position, we know. But sometimes even that can be a little sensitive if your lower back feels tight. So another option to soften the lower back would be to put the soles of the feet on the floor with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, similar to the entry for bridge pose. And that can just alleviate any stickiness in the lower back. Now, if you prefer to get a little bit of good morning stretch in your hips, you're more than welcome to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop out to the side. That is going to feel a little bit more like sensation in the hips and possibly the lower back. So at any point during this opening segment, you are able to change and adjust. If you take the more stretchy position and you start to have sensation in the lower back, just bring the knees together and put your feet on the floor. So allowing yourself to be settled in, softening into whatever shape that you have chosen. And start to give your physical body a scan, just noticing where are the areas of sensation, where are the areas that might feel a little sticky or tight. And part of the thing that we work on in our yoga practice is this ability to witness or be present to the truth of any given moment. And instead of resisting, being in a bit more of a place of acceptance. Not always the easiest, especially if that's reading like big tightness or sensation in the body, or let's face it, in the mind, probably even the more tricky one. So you try to witness whatever the experience is without creating a lot of story. And it's a good practice for being on the mat and for being in your daily life as well. So give that a try right now. Just go through piece by piece in the body, noticing what the experience is in your body today. This exact moment into this exact body, take a big deep breath. Open your mouth, exhale, sighing out, make a little noise. Feel the body soften a little bit heavier, a little bit more released into whatever shape that you've chosen. The mind is very strong and powerful, and this practice of just going through and kind of cataloging what's going on should help you to put that to the side, put that to the periphery, ground yourself in your body, in the experience of the body, and then try to let that go a little bit. You've already, or I should say your mind has already dealt with that now. It's where you want to be and stay grounded for the next few minutes here together with me is in your breath. And so now bringing big, full awareness to the breath that's already flowing through. Noticing sounds and sensations. Don't change anything quite yet. Just notice this breath that's already there and flowing through. What is the experience of your breath this morning? Does it feel light and free? Feel a little restricted. And again, just witnessing or categorizing with the mind the experience of breath, present to what is in this moment. And oftentimes, unless you have a little congestion or something, the experience of breath tends to be often more free than the experience of the physical body, especially if you happen to fall into that very wise and mature category of being, which a lot of us here do. The physical body makes its changes along the way, but we have the ability, particularly with our breathing exercises, pranayama, to have complete and total freedom with this breath. The breath can stay very, very young, if you want to call it that, really to the end. And so allow this breathing, even uncontrolled breathing here, to be your experience in this moment of the fountain of youth. Free flowing breath. Notice where it touches the insides. Before you change the breathing in any way, I just want you to allow the nasal passages to grow more sensitive. You're not changing the experience of the breath, you're simply bringing more awareness to the nasal membrane. The air sips and flows in, gliding across the nasal membrane. Feel the sensations there. Feel like you're sipping in something delicious. Noticing those sensations as it flows back out. And start to very gently, very slowly, draw slightly longer breaths as you continue to be aware of the sensitivity. And as the breaths begin to deepen, very gently, very slowly, deepening the experience of breath, see if you can be aware of the slight electric charge of sensation that flows in and flows out of the nose. Maybe you can even use your powers of visualization to imagine this electric charge as it flows in and out. And can you notice a spiraling action in the breath as it swirls in this electric charge, swirling, spiraling in, and spiraling back out. A deeper inhale. Open mouth, exhale, letting go. And if the knees are not already bent, then go ahead and slowly bring the knees, either squeeze them together if they're out to the sides, or if the legs are straight, bend the knees so the soles of the feet are on the floor and the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. And settling into this neutral position for hips and lower back. Take one more full big breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. From here, you're going to bring your right knee in towards your belly, Wrap your arms around the shin and give yourself a nice little hug. Squeezing in is a good release for the space of the hip, particularly the hip flexor here on the front. We're getting a nice squeeze. And keeping the knee in close towards the rib cage, just bring the sole of the foot towards the ceiling for a half happy baby position. If your hips are very tight, you might need to hold more by the back of the knee or the calf. If the hips feel a little bit more open today, you may be able to hold the outside edge of your right foot with the right hand. See how that feels. And then very gently, not even going to full extension, just start to straighten out the right knee a little bit, and then let it rebend. So you're just pulsing a bit through the back of the leg, straightening slightly, and then bringing the knee back down again. Just massaging out the space of the hip and the back of the right leg. The next time that you bend down, you can stay there and then bring the right ankle to the left knee. Flexing right foot, you may already feel a pretty good stretch in your right hip. Try moving the left heel in a little bit closer, and this might be enough stretch if you're tight in your hips. Or if you want more, you can lift the left foot off of the floor, and then having that right angle bend in both knees, flexing both feet. Slide the right arm through the triangle space and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Now you just deepen the sensation of stretching in your right hip, and you can back off, getting a little bit less stretch if you take the left foot farther away from the body, left knee farther away, or you can add intensity by gently hugging left knee in and pushing very gently right elbow against right knee. So you're in control of the intensity of the stretch. And now once you have it, just breathe into that space. Imagine the lungs, that spiraling sensation, electrically charged breath, moving into the space of the right. Slide your hands back through and then bring the right knee to stack over the left. Left foot comes down on the floor like a little kickstand. And you're going to use that kickstand to scoot your hips all the way over to the right side of your mat. The torso will come along with you. And once you have the hips over on the right side, you can drop your knees to the left for spinal twists. Arms can come out to the side, just at or below shoulder height. And you're welcome to turn your head away from the knees. So knees are going left and head is going right. You might notice that there is a bit of sensation in the outer part of your hip. If that's too much, just uncross the legs. Settling in for spinal twist. Feel the muscles that line the spine stretching as you wind the spine up. Softening into that stretching sensation, breathing deeply into the body. Come out of the twist, bring the head back to center. If you turn, uncross your legs, and then put both feet, soles of the feet on the floor. Press into the soles of your feet and move your hips back to the center of your mat. Keep the arms open wide and take a big old breath into your body. Exhale, sigh it out. Whatever is releasing, let it flow out on this exhale breath. Nice and easy. Bringing the left knee in, give yourself that squeeze. Feel the space of the front of the hip, those hip flexors, getting a nice stretch. And this is also great for creating some mobility right there at the joint. Now keeping the knee right where it is, just move the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Take a hold of whatever you can hold on to. That might, again, be the back of the knee, the calf. Use that gentle weight of the hand to deepen the stretch, but just gently. And then breathing energy, prana, into the places that feel tight. Releasing the hand from wherever it's holding, and now bring the left ankle above the right knee, let the right foot off the floor, if that works for your hip. Remember, for more gentle sensation, right foot can stay on the floor. And now you have that triangle space. You can slide the left hand through, interlace behind the right thigh, and gently, to your comfortability, hugging right thigh in. The left knee helps to gently press the left knee open, and breathe into any sensation that you're feeling. Try to use that visualization of the electrically charged breath swirling in and swirling out. And then sliding the hands back through, stacking left knee on top of right. And put your right foot down on the floor using that kickstand to shift the hips all the way over to the left side of the mat. Just scooch and wiggle hips and ribs over to the left side. And then the knees will drop to the right. Arms coming open. And then gently turning the head if that feels good on your neck, so that the knees are going right and the head is going left. It's like a full wind for your spine. Feel all the places that are stretching along the spine. Breathe into that sensation. And if the sensation is too much in your outer left hip, uncross your legs. So release the twist, bring the head back to center, uncross the legs. Soles of both feet onto the floor. Shift the hips back to the center of your mat. Arms open wide. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Bringing the left knee back in towards the ribs. Taking a hold of whatever you can hold onto and beginning those gentle releases behind the knees. So you're gently extending left leg, not forcing the leg to straight unless it wants to easily go there. Just little pulses opening up the back of the left leg. And the next time that you bend the left knee in, let it stay there. Bring the right knee in. And now full happy baby. Hold where you can hold. So that might be, again, just wrapping the arms at the backs of the knees. You're going to feel a nice deep release in both hips now. If it's available to you, hold on to the big toes. That'll give you a little bit of extra weight as you soften the shoulders back down. That will deepen the sensation in the hips. So just work at your comfortability. And then you can rock a little from side to side too, which makes it feel a little bit more free, a little bit more loose in the body. And you're more than welcome to continue those pulses, straightening the right leg as you rock over to the right, and then rebend center. And straightening the left leg as you go over to the left, rebending as you come center. So you might be pedaling out through the legs, or you might just keep both knees bent. Take a few more rocks side to side. Completing the round that you're on. and then come back to center. From here, you have two ways to get up to a seated position. You can take the hands behind the knees and start to roll like a ball, which is really fun and it massages out your spine. But if that's not comfortable for you, you just roll to the side, press the palms into the floor, and then press yourself up to seated. So taking your time, either rocking and rolling or rolling to the side and pressing up. And everyone will meet in a seated position. Easy seat, cross-legged, nice long spine. And once we're here, take a big breath in. And a full breath out. Placing the right fingertips on the floor, reaching up through the left arm, and then reaching left hand over to the right. Try to stay long through both sides of your waist and open through the chest. So you're not really collapsing here, but instead, slight back bending position as the heart lifts up towards the ceiling. One more breath in here, and then sweeping the left hand up and over, planting left fingers on the floor. Extend right arm. Inhale for that length, and exhale over to the right. Hold here for a few breaths, feeling length on both sides of the waist. Gently lifting heart as much as is comfortable for your spine up towards the ceiling. One more inhale, and then sweeping up. We're going to take this into a flowing position. So flowing, reaching, left hand over to the side, then sweeping up. Right arm extends, and then reaches over to the left. Inhaling, up and over, and exhale, and continuing to flow through. Remember not to collapse as you take this flowing motion. Both sides of the waist stay long. And complete one more round. Coming back to center, reach both arms up. Really lengthen through both sides of the waist. Wiggle your fingers a little bit. Just feel some energy and life in the arms. You can bring them in and out. And take a big reach as you spread the fingers wide. On the exhalation, hands come behind the back. Gently interlace the fingers. Wiggle the shoulders and the ribs a little bit so you feel nice and loose in the shoulders. And then gently knuckles down towards the ground. Lift up through the pectorals. Take a few breaths here. Nice, slow, deep breaths to the top of your lungs, opening up space underneath the collarbones into the throat. Softening, releasing the fingers apart. Bring hands to shins for cat and cow. On the inhalation, lifting the chest, opening the heart. And on the exhalation, rolling back, space between the shoulder blades. And continue, you're rocking through pelvis. And the strength is coming from belly center. You can feel the abdominals working here to bring you forward and to bring you back. Nice and loose in the shoulders, the chest. Returning to the upright position. And now bringing the legs out a little bit away from the body and the soles of the feet together like they're in the shape of a diamond. And you are going to bring your hands, they'll slide down towards the shins, the ankles, and you're going to decide how much sensation you want in your hips. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the spine for this variation stays nice and long. So you're not rounding forward. You're going to get stretched into the space of the hips. So starting to gently fold forward, you might not go very far. And then you can experiment. How close would you like to bring the heels in? How does that feel? A sensation in the knees? Maybe it's a little bit too much, and that would look like bringing the feet farther away from the body. So play around, find your perfect position. You can wiggle a little bit through the sitting bones until you feel free and easy in the sacrum, and then a gentle fold forward. You don't have to go very far, spine stays straight. And now breathe into any sensation you're feeling here in the outer hips and possibly here in the sacral area. Use that swirling, electrically charged breath to Feed and open any places that feel like they're stuck in tight. Breathe some life into those places. This pose in Sanskrit is called Baddha Konasana, which translates to bound angle pose. So if you're tight in the hips, that bound part can really come into play here. Try to take 1 or 2 more breaths into any stickiness. And slowly begin to make your way back up. You're going to cross at the ankles just so that you can roll over here onto your hands and knees. And once you're on hands and knees, you're going to bring the knees directly under the hips and hands directly under the shoulders. And now taking cat and cow here in this position. Can feel very, very different from seated to being on hands and knees. A lot of people who have tight hips prefer cat and cow from the hands and knees position because it frees up space in the lower back and the tightness is eliminated from hips. So just enjoy this flowing movement of the spine. Finding the chest lift on inhalation and rounding of that cat and upper back on exhalation. Returning to a neutral position for the spine, and then walking the hands forward for downward facing puppy. Hands walk forward. The head is lifted off of the floor, and the chest moves back towards the thighs. Very different from sinking the chest down towards the floor. So this pose, the chest moves back towards the thighs, so you get elongation through both sides of the waist, just like you get in downward facing dog. Breathe the length of your spine. In the head, walking the hands a little bit closer to the body, and then settle into a child's pose. So the knees can be together or wide. The hips come back towards the heels. The arms can extend forward, or they can come back. So just find a shape that feels really peaceful and restful for your body and settle in. Of course, we know this is our beautiful resting pose. And you will be resting here, but I'm going to be instructing some breathing or pranayama as you are resting here in your child's pose. So I want you to start to let the experience of breath concentrate in the lower part of your body. Imagine that the lungs could stretch down and inflate the hips and the lower back. And as you exhale, you don't even have to really squeeze. You'll notice on exhalation, energy comes together there at the pelvic floor, the root area of the body. On inhale, as if the lungs were balloons that could inflate hips and lower back. And on exhalation, that energy comes back together. And just do this a few more times. Really, really great breathing technique for opening space in hips and lower back. This breathing activates the apana energy in our body, which is the downward flowing energy. And that is the elimination and cleansing energy of the body. We have different ways the breath flows throughout the body. They're called the prana vayus. And that's the wind energy that moves to the body, and we can direct it in different directions. So right now, you're experiencing that downward flow, feeling the energy concentrating there at the root. One more breath. You can release the pranayama, and then if the arms are behind you, bring them forward. You're going to be taking a side stretch here, so walking hands over to the right. Option to stack the left hand on top of the right hand to get a little bit more sensation in the left side of the body. So as the hands go right, you're creating a stretch of the whole left side of your body, breathing into and in between the ribs. Now walking the hands back to center, pausing here for a breath in and out. And hands walking over to the left, settling the right sitting bone down on the right heel, and that option to stack right hand on top of left as you breathe into right side body. Bringing the hands back to center. Once you're centered, don't be in a rush. Take a nice big breath in and out. Slowly begin to walk yourself back up, returning to hands and knees, and returning to downward facing puppy, or you're more than welcome to lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. So puppy pose, we know the knees stay on the ground, chest stretches back towards the thighs, and if you want to take downward facing dog, you curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. And once you're up there, make sure you get some pedaling through the feet and the knees. We already got some good space in the calves and the hamstrings, but just getting some more opening, some more heat by bending one knee and then the other. And once you feel that you have that little bit of space and the cricks and cracks are out of the ankles, you can come to stillness. Soften both knees if you're in dog pose, and pressing chest back towards the thighs. Nice big elongation and stretch back. And slowly lowering the knees back down to the ground if you lifted them. And if you're in puppy pose, walking the hands back so you're on all fours. From here, you're going to return to your downward facing dog in just a moment. And then everyone is going to be bringing the feet up to meet the hands. So if you're staying in puppy pose, that's totally fine. We'll just have a different entry into standing at the front of the mat. So starting with a decision, if you're taking downward facing puppy or downward facing dog. Down dog, the hips lift up and back. If you're in downward facing dog, you're going to inhale and lengthen. On your exhalation, look forward and take as many steps as you need to get feet to hands. If you're in puppy pose, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to lift the head and look forward, and then put one foot on the floor, and then the other, and very slowly beginning to walk the feet between the hands. You'll probably need a nice good bend in the knees once you get there. And the feet can be a little bit separated for some more space in the hips. The belly is on the thighs, so bend your knees as much as you need, and then take a hold of opposite elbows if you feel steady. You can sway a little bit from side to side. This should feel good in the side waist, the hips, and the sacrum. If you need more steadiness, of course, the hands could be on the floor. Take a couple more sways, just enjoying the spaciousness on the sides. Come back to center. Take a nice deep bend in the knees from the pit of the belly, rolling up one vertebra at a time. And once you're standing, roll your shoulders. And bring the big toes together to touch, finding mountain pose. Really press down into the soles of your feet. You're actively pressing the feet down. And you're actively but gently lengthening through the crown of the head. And you can really experience standing tall with this connection of feet pressing down. Crown lengthening, you get lots of space in the spine, the whole body, like it's stretching in two different directions, but very gently. Arms are by the sides, palms facing forward. Find your breath. If you're feeling steady, eyes can be closed. If you're feeling a little unsteady, keep the eyes open, pick a point to focus on for balance. Feeling strong, like a mountain. Gently open the eyes up. Inhale and reach the arms up and overhead. If you can, interlace your fingers and then release index fingers so they're pointing up towards the ceiling. If that's too much on your shoulders, just let the hands come to separate, and then you'll take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Either way, you're going to start to stretch over to the right. The hips will go left, and the hands will go right. So you might be with the interlace, squeezing the biceps by the ears for a little bit more intense sensation in the shoulders, or you may be holding a little more gently, right hand at left wrist. Either way, opening left side body as you reach over to the right. Come back to center, breathe in. And taking the opposite side, get nice and long, lengthen through both sideways, and then reaching over to the left as the hips press to the right. If you have the interlace, squeeze the biceps to the ears. Inhaling back to center, big breath, stretch up, reach up. And exhale, soften the hands back down by the sides, mountain pose. Actively pressing into the feet, lengthening through the crown of the head. Feel new sensations in the body. You feel a little bit more of that electric charge all the way through you. Let's spend a few more breaths here. I really want you to notice where the energy is in your body. If you're feeling vibrant or if you're feeling a little tired, just notice what's going on energy-wise right now. Notice the rate of your heart. How quickly or slowly and calmly is your heart beating? If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Take your feet a little farther apart, and we're gonna really change some energy right now. So just feet about hips width apart and a little softness in the knees. And this breathing technique is gonna use and activate the arms as well. So I'll demonstrate first. It's pretty simple, but you have to find a rhythm. It's inhaling the arms at shoulder height out in front, inhaling the arms out to the side, inhaling the arms up and overhead. So it's 3 inhales, and then on the exhale, like that, out through the mouth, and you fold over the bent knees. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate. It looks like this. Join in when you're ready. Finding those 3 inhales. Keep that going. I know you all each have your own rhythm and pace going. And I love this one because it kind of feels like you're conducting, like you're a conductor of an orchestra here. And what you're conducting is the energy and breath in your body. We have a few more times. Last time, complete the round that you're on. And then rise back up. Find a place where you feel steady. So you might need to keep the feet a little bit farther apart, or maybe the big toes come together to touch. Press down into the soles of the feet. If you're feeling too much energy, your eyes might need to stay open, but maybe you can close the eyes and turn them up to the space between the eyebrows. And just witness what you just created, right, as the conductor. Bringing all of these things together, and now this full vibration of energy through your whole body. Notice the rate of your heartbeats. Should be a little elevated now. As the breath begins to smooth and even, everything returning back to more gentle rhythm and pace. The vibration really stays, so if you concentrate on that interior space, you can feel the pulsations of energy. Bring awareness back to the nostrils, the nasal membranes as you sip the breath in. Noting that sensation, the electric charge, spiraling breath. Gently open the eyes, bring hands together at heart center. Pressing the palms together. And we're going to do a balancing pose today, which we don't often do in gentle yoga. So I want you to be very comfortable that if you need to use a chair or a wall, if you happen to be practicing with somebody, there's a very beautiful balance that you can do where you hold each other's shoulders like this, which is really, really nice. So feel free to use any variation that suits you. Now I want you to press down into the sole of your left foot and just come to the right toes. So I've got kind of longer pants on today, but you can just keep the toes on the floor like this. And you can turn the right knee out to the side, coming into a variation of tree pose. So this might be your tree pose if you don't have something to hold on to. If you have a wall, you can place your left hand or a chair for steadiness. And then start to bring the sole of the right foot, maybe somewhere on the left leg. So that could be at the calf, it could be at the lower part of your thigh, but not at the knee. That will be destabilizing for the knee. Or it might come up high into the inner thigh. You might be holding on to something, or you might have your hands up at the center. This is going to give you a nice stretch, right side hip, inner thigh, and then working on that steadiness. Remember, the toes could always be on the floor. If you're feeling steady, maybe you have the left hand on a wall or something for support. So maybe only the right arm extends, or possibly both arms extend. Feel that length through both side waists. This is your tree. Don't worry if it looks like anybody else's tree. I'm looking outside right now at a bunch of trees, and not one of them looks the same. Breathe in. And then slowly you start to release. Taking your time. You're just working on steadiness. And your mind has a lot of concentration on the steadiness, right? But now as you release, you'll probably feel sensation in your left leg. It just did a lot of work standing there in balance. So just letting that sensation release from the left leg. Breathing slowly, deeply. Noticing new energy and sensations in the body. Preparing for the right side. Pressing down into the right foot, really strong through the right leg. And then first just lift the left heel off of the floor, pressing the ball of the foot into the floor, and maybe just turn out here so the toes stay on the floor. This is a great way to get the opening in the hip if you're feeling a little unsteady. If you want to try to balance, maybe the foot comes to the calf. It's a really nice place to balance. Maybe you're lifting a little higher. You could even be using the hand to help adjust so that the sole of the foot is more at the inner thigh and everything squeezes together at the midline. That helps with the balance. Maybe you're using your right hand at the wall or a chair or a partner. And then from there, start to take any variation of extending the branches. So you can use one arm only, or you can use both arms to reach up. And if you fall out, it's okay. Don't worry. Maybe your tree is swaying side to side today. Very slowly beginning to release. And then once you release, take some time to become aware of the sensation in the right leg and just watch it as it releases from the body. In the moment, it can feel very intense. The right leg is working hard, but that sensation releases very quickly. And then new energy flowing through the body. If you close your eyes, gently blink them open. We're going to be moving into yogic squat. So turn the feet out, toes are turning out, just a little bit wider than hips width apart. Don't go too wide because that will be hard once you start going down. Just a little more than hips height, toes turning out. And you're going to take your time coming down. So you might be using hands to support really carefully as you come down towards the floor. And for some legs, it might feel like a lot. So you could use something to sit on. If you happen to have a yoga block, it works really well. It looks like this. So if your legs feel tired, you could either come, if you don't have a block, just come to sit on the floor in an easy seat. Or maybe you're balancing here, letting the tailbone move down towards the ground. Really big opening now for both hips. Try to keep the spine long and lifted. It's a very nice twist you can take here, extending the right arm out to the side. Squeeze the right knee towards the right tricep. That'll really stabilize your hip. And to any degree, reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Creates a big opening across the left side pectoral and shoulders. You gently twist the spine. Breathe in. Bring the left hand back down. Come to center, working slowly. And then extending out through the left arm. Squeeze the left knee and the left tricep together. And very gently extending right arm up. Open now across right side pectoral. Really getting deep into the hips with this pose. Very slowly, releasing right arm back down, come to center. Now you have to get down on the floor. So if you're feeling like, you want to test your strength a little bit, keep the hands at heart center as you come to sit down. But if that's too much, then you just bring the hands to the floor so you can support as you bring the hips down to the floor. Extend the legs straight out in front and give a little shake of the knees. Move the feet side to side, circle the other direction. And point and flex. All of that helps to extend the front part of your lower leg and then the back part of your lower leg. As we're going to go into full forward fold. Now, you can use a blanket or a cushion under your seat to help give some forward tilt to the hips. And for a lot of people, this really helps to eliminate sensation from the lower back and put sensation where we want it, which is in the back of the legs. Inhale and reach the arms up. And as you exhale, think belly to thighs. Stay with a straight spine and then bring the hands down. Hold on to whatever you can hold on to. That might be shins or ankles, edges of feet, or maybe even big toes. Little pulses of energy on the inhalation, you feel some extension. On the exhalation, some softening of the belly towards thighs. These little pulses, the natural movement of the body with the breath, helps to keep this pose from being stagnant. Instead, you can feel the energy, the prana, the chi, moving through, helping to open and create space. Gently flowing, the rhythm of your breath, these little pulses up and down. And the next time that you come forward on the exhalation, maybe stay in the static position so the body is not moving anymore, but you still stay aware of the movement of the breath. If that's too much sensation in the back of your legs or your lower back, go back to the pulsing of the body up and down. Just a couple more breaths here into the backs of your legs. Inhaling, inflating, filling up. Exhaling, squeezing the belly so you feel nice and strong at your center as you begin to rise back And now bending at the knees. Bring the soles of your feet together and the knees out to the side. This time as we take Baddha Konasana, it's going to be a more gentle variation. So everyone, feet far away from the body. If you happen to have something that you can use, and it could be a cushion or a blanket as well, but a block really works the best. Because you're going to create this nice big diamond shape with your legs, and then folding forward so that you can just soften and release. This should feel good, very gentle in the hips and the lower back. A restorative variation of Baddha Konasana pose, bound angle. And I'm hoping as you stay here and breathe for a bit of time that you feel a little less bound in the space of the hips and the lower back. You can use that special breathing to inflate hips and lower back, concentrating all of the breath in the lower part of the body. And as you exhale, feel that energy coming back together at the pelvic floor at the root. That lock at the root is called Mula Bandha. Continue to breathe here. The farther away the feet are from the body, the bigger the diamond shape, the more gentle that is on hips and lower back. Just a few more breaths, nice and deep into the space of the hips and the lower back. Really inflating as if the lungs were two big balloons that can inflate the hips, the buttocks, the lower back. And as they deflate, just feeling that energy coming back together at the root. Maybe slowly beginning to make your way back up. And putting the soles of the feet onto the floor. And now you're going to be coming back down onto the floor, back to where we started. So take your journey there. You might roll down one vertebra at a time from a place of strength, or you may roll over to the side and then come to the lower back. So once you're down there, take the feet as wide as your mat and windshield wiper knees side to side, massaging out the outer hips. Create a gentle twisting action, particularly in the lower part of your spine, just releasing sacral area. Completing the round that you're on, coming back to center. And hopefully you know by now that you can always take a very gentle inversion anytime in any yoga class, particularly if you have a block, but a cushion or a rolled blanket works well too. And that just looks like placing something to lift the hips you can rest on, and then this becomes very passive. So this is a great variation. Just getting the hips above the heart for a few moments. So healing for the whole of the body. So maybe you're doing this, especially if you have a yoga block. If you would like to take Viparita Karani, I'm going to be guiding you into that now. So you don't want anything under your head at this moment, just clearing space for your body. And then the arms are alongside and the knees come in towards the belly. You're going to use your abdominals to peel the hips off the floor, and then the hands come to the lower back. Now, Viparita Karani is not shoulder stand. You do not want the legs straight up towards the ceiling, unless you already practice that and happen to enjoy shoulder stand. But we're doing Viparita Karani, which means that the legs are at about a 60-degree angle or so. The hips are sitting a little bit more into the hands, and this is very safe on your neck. So this isn't going to put any pressure on the neck or the shoulders. And it's just a bit more active, obviously, than bridge or supported bridge. And this is a great way to get that reversal of flow of energy in the body. Blood flowing down the backs of the legs. Gets the lymph system working as well. Very good for your circulatory system, which means it's good for your heart. Just taking a few breaths here. If this is working for you, remember you can always be in bridge or supported bridge. Well, all that good energy, prana, oxygenated blood flowing back down towards the abdominal organs, towards the heart, thyroid, the face, the brain, everything getting fed here. Start to bend at the knees. If you're in Viparita Karani, put the hands on the floor, and then using that strength, rolling down one vertebra at a time. Feet come back to the floor, feet as wide as the mat. Let the knees drop together, turn the palms to face up. And just taking a moment to pause and drink in that beautiful energy that we create in the inversion, whichever inversion that you took. These last few moments before we head into final relaxation, see if you can allow yourself to grow more sensitive. Sipping very gently, the air in, and that electric charge that spirals in and spirals out. Separate the knees now, and if there's anything else that you need before Shavasana, possibly a little bit more happy baby, a twist, anything else that you need at all to feel complete, take time for that now. There's no rush. If you feel ready for Shavasana, you can set yourself up for relaxation anytime that you're ready. You want to make sure that you prepare yourself to feel completely supported. Present to any sensation in hips and lower back, using a bolster under the knees to create support if you need it. Maybe place something like a folded blanket under your head so that the neck is in a neutral position. Make sure that you're warm enough. Any extra blankets that you have, you could use to cover yourself. And if you're still working through a final pose, take your time. Creating, when you're ready, your cozy little nest and joining your community in this deep state of relaxation known as Shavasana. Part of this pose is a commitment to stillness, the hardest part. So really setting that intention now to remain still. Let the body unwind from any effort. Return to that scan of your physical body. Let's let the mind categorize everything, noticing the toes and the feet, the ankles and the calves, the big muscles of the thighs. Let them unwind. Unwinding, spiraling, goes into the sacrum and the hips. Feel them release, heavy into the earth. Back of the ribs, releasing into the floor. Softening of the abdominals and the frontal ribs. And I notice the breath is really slowed down. Softening across the chest, shoulders, arms, back of the neck, shoulder blades released into the floor. Soft, spacious, and open in the throat, jaw. All the little muscles in your face, there are so many of them. Let the face be soft and expressionless now. Eyes are heavy in their sockets. And then softening across the forehead, crown of the head. Everything is letting go. This is our experience of losing body, mind, and breath. Experience that some find even in meditation, allowing yourself to be that right now. In this release, particularly that of the mind, you can connect to something greater. Let yourself float. Slowly come back wherever you have been floating, bringing awareness back to body. Body released and heavy into the floor. As the breath gently comes back into focus, return to the sensitivity. As that electric charge goes in and out, feel yourself as this electricity. Charged with energy for whatever you need, whatever you would like to do or create or be. And a bigger inhale now. Big sigh out. When you feel ready, beginning to move slowly. Small movements, leaning into larger movements. Stretching in any way that wakes you back up. And then you can roll to a side. Somebody's getting doggy kisses right now. Take a few moments on your side, cuddling up with yourself or whoever may be invading your space at the moment. Spending this transition time, just tasting all of this peace, stillness that you have created through your practice. Let that stay with you as you press your palms into the floor and lift, raise yourself up to seat, comfortable seat. Deeply connected to the grounding sensation, equally connected to the rise of energy up through the spine and the crown of the head. Take a breath in together. Exhale, sigh it out. Breathing in. Sighing out. And inhaling to our home. That Om as another vibration. This one all charged with the love of the collective consciousness, the universe. Bring that all into your heart as hands meet heart center. A moment of gratitude for this practice. It helps us to experience in real time that we are this thing that we seek. We are this energy. We are the electric charge. We have an endless supply of what we need. Namaste.